So, hi and welcome. Thank you very much for doing this interview. Maybe
It's a
before
pleasure.
maybe before we start officially, could you say a few words to you as a person, to your profession and also to your school?
Okay, my name is Klaus Ramsay. I'm a headmaster of a German Realschule in the Black Forest. We have about 600 or 650 pupils in our school, and we invested a lot of work and a lot of money in the last years into digitalization and tablets, computer games, digital whiteboards, and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you very much. So, to start off with our first question, what is your opinion on the usage of digital media in the classroom in general?
I think it's very, very important because it helps us to get the world in the classroom. We can use lots of different tools. We can visit every part of the world. We can have conversations with pupils all around the world and use very sophisticated tools like the Khan Academy or Wikipedia, do a lot of STEM education. It really helps to keep the pupils going.
Okay, thanks. And so, are you satisfied with the media tools and activities that your school offers in general for students?
Yes, my school in general offers a lot of tools. I think we are leading in that field in our area. But I see there are lots of other schools, they really don't cope with this new situation. They don't have all the media we have, all the hardware we have. And it's very difficult for them, and we had to learn a lot before we are now satisfied with what we have, and now things are working.
Can you maybe tell us how or what kinds of media tools you use on a daily basis?
We have tablet classes starting from grade 8 to grade 10. Every pupil and every teacher has its own tablet. We use iPads for that. We start in the fifth grade with special education on computers and about media. And we go on in class 6, doing basically the same like in class 5. And in 7 and 8, people learn a lot, pupils learn a lot in STEM about programming. We work with different tools there, and we are very happy with them.
Okay, thanks. And you as a teacher, obviously, and also as a headmaster, use digital media. And what kind of experiences did you make or do you make? You can tell us about several kinds of experience. For example, are there overall more positive experience than negative experiences?
At the beginning, there were more negative experiences because things didn't really work the way we wanted to, and it wasn't that easy to use that, and it wasn't really easy for teachers who don't really like to work with that to use it. But now we found a system that makes it easy, even for teachers to use it. Everybody has the same hardware. Everybody brings the same device to school, so uh, teachers can very easily help the pupils because they have the same platform. Um, Now things are going quite smoothly because we are paying a company to do the I forgot the word now to look after those
Mm.
iPads, to take care, and they're doing that very well. So no teacher has to handle that.
If there are any technical difficulties with the iPads, for example.
Yes,
Ah,
yes,
okay.
yes. Mhm.
Sounds
They
good.
can just call them,
Yeah,
and we can just call them, and they fix it in a minute.
sounds great. And are there any certain types of digital media or especially games which you prefer to use in your lessons or you heard of teachers at your school using in their lessons? Which are the most popular kinds of games?
We started with a lot of tools and games, but in the end, Apple bought such a big knowledge and brought that into their basic tools and apps. So we really don't need that much apps anymore. We work with the built-in apps Apple gives us, and apart from that, I'm working a lot with Apple Playgrounds. It's programming, it's a STEM app, and with Tinker.
Mm-hmm.
Tinker is used a lot here, and that's basically it. We're using word processing a lot. We're using the internet browser a lot. We're using YouTube a lot. And we're using Flipped Classroom in some classes.
Okay. And have you also, I mean, do English teachers also use Apple Playground and Tinker, or do you know if there are any other kinds of games involved in their lessons?
They don't really do that now because we didn't find one we are very satisfied with.
Okay.
The English books are not really good in that. The material is not so digitalized. The English teachers are using the audio files
Mm-hmm.
they used previously from a CD player. They have that now on their iPad, and it's very easy for them
Mm-hmm.
to use those audio files and the video files, but it's not interactive. It's not from the school book. You can use it, and there's no really good game for that. We are a little bit trying to do vocabulary games. They look really good, but now in the moment we are there's a lot to do with the rest.
Yeah.
And I think when everything works the way we want it, we can concentrate on that. But I can't do everything now back right from the start.
Yeah, sure. You have to set your priorities straight. Um, and do you agree that digital learning, which could be based on digital games, benefits the learner's abilities and competences? So your students' abilities and competences?
Yes, it can. It's good for their concentration and for their motivation. Gamification in learning helps pupils to reach their goals, and it helps to reach their individual goals. And one doesn't have to wait for the other.
Mm-hmm.
That is for the more gifted pupils. And the not so gifted pupil can reach their goals too, which are on a lower level, but they can reach them. And they're much more motivated to reach those goals as when I'm giving them goals to reach.
Mm-hmm. And I guess it's also more attractive to especially young people if they have a young like a colorful and moving media where they have to focus on, then instead of concentrating from a text from an old school book or something like that.
Yes, it is. I think was it Bill Gates? No, Tim Cook said when you go into in a school nowadays, it looks like 30 years ago nothing changed, and nothing really changed. But it's only in some schools. Focusing our efforts on bringing digital media into the classroom really helped to motivate different pupils. Pupils who were very quiet and didn't work well in the classroom are suddenly one of the best when we work with digital tools, and that gives them a lot of motivation as well and changes the role of those pupils in the classroom. That is very important.
You say that using digital media in the classroom allows the teacher for a more individualized lesson because students can work in their own speed.
I'm sure it will, but we are not there now. And with we, I don't mean my school. The publishing companies don't have any tools we can really use for individualization. You don't really find tools in the classroom or in the internet to use for individualization. I even went to Berlin this spring and had a meeting with Microsoft to develop an AI tool that helps teachers to focus on the individual needs for each pupils. But you don't really find that on the market. It's very, very difficult. It will be the future of individual learning because especially artificial intelligence can really, really help us with that. But we are not there. It will take some years from now, and then I hope we will have it.
Okay. Um, and so, do you think that there is, well, we can use your school as an example. Do you think there's already enough digitalization embedded in the curriculum or in the way your teachers form their lessons? Or do you feel like there should be more?
In the last 2 years, the government really fixed that problem. We have lots of issues in the curriculum that we have to fulfill, that we even have to fulfill for digitalization. Last weekend, I started to get all these bits and pieces of tasks we have to do in the curriculum together, and it's really a lot. Let's talk about German. The German Realschule has to deliver 42 individual chunks of exercises, of digitalization, of things you have to know and to do. 42 chunks alone in German. And we have Medienbildung that deals with that. We have Informationstechnische Grundbildung, we have that deals with that. We have the Wahlfach Informatik that deals with that. There's really a lot. We don't need more. We have to do what we have better.
Okay. So, as a last question, I would like to ask you if you feel that using media or digitalization in the classroom, that it creates more work for teachers than using the tools which are already there, for example, the school book. Do you feel like they create more work for teachers? And if yes, is the work worth it?
It absolutely does. It creates more work. You have to begin, you have to learn. You are a learner yourself, and you can do what you saw in your own school and what you learned in your high school, in university. And there's no fixed scheme that helps you. You have to learn everything from the beginning again, even if you are a so-called digital native. You have to learn how to teach with digital tools and digital hardware, and it's a lot of work to start with. What helps making things easier is a teacher can work together, share their stuff they developed. They can put it somewhere where every teacher of the school or of the district or of the country can use the same tools or whatever they created to use. But to begin with, it's a lot of work, and everybody who tells you it makes things easier is a liar. It will take 3 or 4 or 5 years of really good practice until things are getting easier.
Okay. But you would say that it's definitely worth it in the long run.
Absolutely, absolutely. It helped changing our school a lot. When you go into a classroom and teach with digital tools and digital media, the role of the teacher changes completely. It's more like a democratic process. You are not the big guy standing in front of the classroom knowing everything, and they know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really it generates a good feeling in the classroom because you are one of the team, even still being the boss, but you're one of the team, and you really work together, and you can learn from the pupils. A lot of time you can learn from the pupils, and in the next minute you can teach the pupils something new. It's a give and take, and that makes things really good and worthwhile to do that. It can change the whole school. Working together, the teachers working together, the pupils working together, the peers working together, and it can change the way the pupils behave a lot, and the way they interact in their free time a lot. So many problems with sexting and things like that can be stopped with good STEM education.
Okay. So I guess we got it. Thank you very much for agreeing to do this interview.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and good luck on embedding more digitalization in your school.
Okay, good.